guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg, and guess what? I have that one luxury off-roading SUV that people are still talking about. Is this vehicle right here. This is a Lexus GX550. This particular one is that special trim known as the Overtrail. It's actually an Overtrail Plus. But before we get into the new version of this legendary nameplate, let's talk about what's going on here. So yes, the GX has been around for quite some time and really has been that go-to for people that want some luxury spec, but also want that bulletproof off-roading reliability. Now, for this new generation, it's a total redesign. And this particular one has a special touch on it, which really makes it stand out. Now, it's fascinating because obviously this is basically the sister vehicle to the Toyota Land Cruiser, but Toyota went a totally different direction with the powertrain compared to this Lexus. But what I want to find out is it the must-have out of all luxury spec SUVs? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this Overtrail Plus GX550 and find out. Right off the bat, great color combination. That pearlescent white with the black accents really works super well. It reminds me of a big old polar bear, and I just want to hug it. Now at the front of the business, you'll see that new generation in style, LED triple beam LED headlights, your daytime running lamp. I do have to zonk the fact that we have some fake vent. I don't know why they did that. Would have been nice to have some functionality there. But what I do love is on the Overtrail especially, you have that flared fender body color, but then you have the additional flat black fender flare. Working our way down, you have your LED fog lamps and cornering lights in the gloss black. And then all the way on the bottom level, some nice flat black, which will take a better beating. Now, as we come across the new design of the trapezoidal grille, I'm digging how Lexus is sort of blending the trapezoid grille into the body plus the grille itself. So you have your flat black with that Lexus badge, forward-facing camera. It should have a washer. I am going to zonk that, but you'll notice how the trapezoid, which is fully functional, flows into the bodywork here. Also all functional. That gives it a really unique look. Working our way down underneath. Ow. Dang. Some nice metal skid plates to protect the belly of this overlanding, off-roading luxury SUV. You actually have almost 10 inches of ground clearance compared to some of the other luxury SUVs. And you do have that all-wheel drive 4x4 action to get the power to the ground. And you also have all the fun technology like crawl control and hill descent control. But let me know what you think about the face of this GX550 Overtrail. It really, like I said, for a modern SUV, it gets my heart kind of racing a little bit. Now, as we rise up, I love that big, bold hood. What's interesting is that the way that they sunk in the center section gives you these two nice high areas that are perfect visual reference points when you are off-roading or when you're trying to just park this thing. Coming around the bend, here's the special touch. This one has some modded wheels and tires. So what you're gonna find are these KMC wheels. Love that bronze finish to them. Of course, fully bead-locked, and then wrapped around the wheel, those Toyo open country all-terrain tires. Nice shielding all the way around. And the wheel, there's just something, I don't know, if you look at all the different generations of the GX, there's just something about a white GX with bronze color wheels. Doesn't matter the generation, they all look good with those off-road wheels and tires. But I love the way the outer portion of it that's bead-locked is black. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of the wheel? It's an 18-inch wheel. Tires are 265 on the width and a nice beefy 70 series sidewall. I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing in to show off the suspension, your upper control arm, your upright shock absorber. Of course, we have adaptive suspension, all four corners, and this does have a steel box frame. So this is not a pretender when it comes to off-roading, this is the real deal Holyfield SUV that's luxury, but also off-road capable. Now, coming down the side, you do have power folding side mirrors, gloss black, 360-degree cameras with the LED turn signals. One other thing I do have to zonk is I'm not a big fan of the gloss black at the base of where your windshield wipers are. I don't know if they should have body colored it or made it flat black, but the gloss black I feel is just gonna not age as great as the rest of the vehicle. From the side, you can see the dimensions. It's not a full size, but it's not a mid size. It's like in this gray area. So it is a little smaller than the LX series from Lexus. You do have that flat roof design with our raised roof rails. You have, for some reason, gloss black on the door handles. I wish those were just body color. And then you got this little gloss black trim just to give it a little bit of extra nice style from the side. We also have those stationary running boards. And with these off-road wheels and tires and that extra ground clearance, it just looks really rugged, ready to rock and roll. Now coming towards the rear, good size on the quarter window. And I like the way they just brought the trim along the bottom and then some of that gloss black to kind of match what's on the A-pillar on the rear pillar. And then swinging around back, it's almost perfect. They do a great job at Lexus with their LED lights, turn signals, the tail lights. You have your nice long black roof spoiler. You could actually open up the rear hatch area. I just wish that the wiper wasn't exposed. Tuck that underneath. Tuck it underneath. And then, of course, you have the Lexus name. I like the way they just put in the trim. Really cleans up the back. Even did the black badging with the GX550. So glad they didn't do some corny Overtrail badge. We don't need to stick a bunch of badges all over it. And then working our way down the ground level, tons of ground clearance. Good approach angle, good departure angle. I like the body color, the flat gray. What I don't like is this. And obviously the rear hatch decided to open. We're not ready. We're not ready for that. Don't look. Don't look. Don't do it. Go back down. Thank you. Obviously it has that hands-free, when you got the key fob in your pocket, hands-free ability to open up the rear hatch, but this thing just looks like a big button. It's a cover that comes off, and this is where you could tow. And guess what? You could tow over 9,000 pounds with this GX550. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk about power of this new generation. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. Underneath the hood, gone is the V8. I know you're sad, I know you're upset, but the good news is that we have twin turbo power. It's not the hybrid setup with the 4-cylinder turbo that you find on the Land Cruiser. What we have is the 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 that puts out 349 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. That is more horsepower and more torque than the V8. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in about 6.2 seconds. MPGs, 15 in the city, 21 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 5,517 pounds. And like I said, you could tow up to 9,096 pounds with this vehicle. So, like I said, I miss the V8, but of course Lexus is trying to work on efficiency. I'm just glad it got a different power plant than the Land Cruiser. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this twin turbo V6 and see it roll. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Lexus GX550 Overtrail Plus. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I am really digging this Lexus, especially with those wheels. How much is this one? Asking price is $85,000. But let's see what else you get when you go Overtrail Plus, because that's a higher option. There's Overtrail. This one's Overtrail Plus. Let's see what you get. To the door panels. I do like the clean style. Soft touch up top, soft touch on the armrest. We got the Mark Levinson premium sound system. And then door pocket is a little tight, so you're gonna probably have to keep it to just maybe 4 or 5 tacos from Taco Bell and a large Pepsi to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, the soft touch, I like how far the dash is pushed forward, really frees up the space for the passenger. You could actually take your Twinkies and stand them up. Put a baker's dozen of Twinkies, almost like a gun belt. Think of like a gun belt. Looks nice and clean. Come on in, you got a 14-inch infotainment system, full touchscreen, full Lexus multimedia software. One of the special things, of course, with this being an Overtrail, is you do have your off-road information, which is great. Pitch, roll, brake, accelerator, and your 4x4 system, which is great. Now, let me throw it in reverse. Backup camera, clear as day. Nice trajectory, 360. And then, of course, you also are going to have that forward-facing camera that's going to be able to get information out the front. We hit the camera button. There's that 360 scan. Very important to have these cameras when you're off-roading, because you're not going to want to spend 85 G's on this thing and then want to bang it up against a tree or go off the side of a cliff to your death. That wouldn't be fun. You do have dual climate control, which is nice. Of course, you have your ventilated seats 3 stages, heated seats 3 stages, and 2 stages of heated steering wheel. Real volume knob. The only thing you got to tap is the blower fan, but that's okay because you just tap it, give it a little tap, tap, tap-a-roo, and you can make your adjustments. We got our different modes. I'll show you this when you come to the business side of things. Tow haul, you got your crawl control, hill descent control. This is going to control your 10-speed automatic transmission. 2 cup holders with a nice, look at the cover. And then you do have 2 USB-Cs, which are great, and a 12-volt peekaboo ICU on that 12-volt. That controls the 10-speed. Here's where you can lock the rear diff, the center diff. This is for your 4x4. Wireless charging. Nice soft touch. Ooh, a cool box. Keep some drinks in there. Maybe some ice cream. Maybe you want like a Klondike. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Tell me. I miss those commercials. Those were the good old days. I just miss how we used to be advertised to. Now it's just like too over the top and just garbage. But it's like commercials used to be fun and simple. Those days are gone. Seats, love the soft material, the stitching, the perforations, the bolstering, electric assist for the passenger, electric assist for the driver. The one thing that's questionable is you just have a standard size sunroof, no panoramic sunroof. Interesting. But why don't you go over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel in this GX. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Love the Lexus sill plate that illuminates the Lexus name at night. Looking good. All your seat controls, easy access. I'm 6 feet tall. Plenty of room in here. Steering wheel, the leather, flat black on the switchgear, which is great. You do have paddles to go up and down the 10-speed. You also have 3 memory seat settings, and it has a power tilting telescoping steering wheel. Plus, you got that 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Remember how I told you about modes? Look at all of the freaking modes. You even have Sport and Sport Plus, which is really cool too. And the graphics make it seem like a freaking video game. And there's a head-up display. So they got you covered information-wise. Let's get in the back seat, because remember, we just have 2 rows. Yay! Let's get in that back seat and see how much room there is for your passengers in this Overtrail. All right, guys, back seat time. I love the way everybody gets the nice Mark Levinson speakers, even the way they do that trim there. Plus, you have that built-in sunshade, which is nice. I like the way it's built in clean into the door panel. Backs of the seats, you got some of that leather, some of that micro suede material, and then you have these pockets with a book. Ooh, this is the book about Black Rhino and their hard alloys. Nice. Very nice. Ooh, see, I'm telling you, these kind of wheels would look good on a GX. So you could flip through the book and have your passengers pick out some wheels. Maybe you're one of those people that you worked out a deal with them and you're gonna make $10 per wheel that you help sell. Now the back of the command center, you have your AC vents, heated seats only. That's a bit of a zonk. I wish there were ventilated seats back here, but everybody gets a USB-C, which is nice. I'm sitting here comfy. Remember, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm gonna put up that shade so you can see what it looks like. Seats do not slide. No sliding seats. But you do have nicely padded armrests with 2 cup holders and the same great material as up front. But let's get into that cargo area because I want to take you for a spin in this GX. All right, guys, time to get into the rear lift gate. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way, right underneath the X in Lexus. X marks the spot. Nice electric assist. You're going to be greeted to a ton of room because, like I said, what's awesome about the GX550 Overtrail, it's just a 2-row. You can't get it as a 3-row. So what you're basically looking at is 50 cubic feet of space with the seats up, and then over 70 cubic feet of space when you fold the seats down. I kind of wish that they would get rid of the cup holders for the rear seats, but I guess the good news is if you're tailgating or you're camping, you could put different things in there. Maybe you're barbecuing, you got a little grill going on. You could put your little paprika, maybe some, hot spices. I know Steven's a big hot sauce kind of guy. You could go get it all hot and spicy, slap it up, slip it in. But nice to have the cargo liner. The seats do the 60-40 split. And what do we have underneath? Let's take a little peek. A little bit of storage area. This is where you could put the Twinkies, the Ho-Hos, the Ding Dongs, maybe some Star Crunch. Really nice over there. But why don't we go ahead? Oh, almost forgot. On the passenger side, I know people always want to know, not a 12-volt. We got a nice home power source. That's perfect for when you're at the beach. You could plug something in, maybe like a blender, and make yourself some margaritas. Well, why don't we go ahead? If you're ready, I'm ready. This thing's looking pretty good. Let's see if it drives as good as it looks. Let's go for a spin in this Overtrail. All right, guys, we are behind the wheel of this 2024 Lexus GX550 Overtrail Plus. Right away, I love the commanding view you get of the road. Like I said, having that indentation in the center of the hood, especially with the way the hood kind of slopes down in the middle, and those higher peaks gives you perfect visual reference points. Getting to our 14-inch infotainment system is well within reach. And surprisingly, even with the off-road tires, you're not getting a ton of road noise. I mean, you are going to get more, but you're not getting a ton, which is nice. I have it in Sport Plus mode. And it's just a very easy to drive larger SUV. You know, once upon a time, driving some of these large SUVs was cumbersome. Now they've become very easy to drive. And the fact that we have the heated seats, the ventilated seats, all of the controls are easy to figure out. And then you could bring up a cornucopia of information on the dash, change the placement of everything. Really, really nice to have the flexibility of customizing exactly what you want information-wise and driving experience-wise in this Lexus. But why don't we go on throttle here and see how it goes? On throttle. Traction gets down to the ground nicely. You do get some sound pumped in, but I actually don't mind on the V6 twin turbocharged setups how they're pumping in the sound. It actually helps, and it doesn't sound too over the top. And you find that same sound basically on the Tundra, the Sequoia, this GX, the LX. It just helps with not having a V8 anymore. And it's just a little sprinkling. It's not meant to overtake the whole driving experience. Seats are freaking superb. I love the seats in the new GX550. And really just a well laid out, well designed vehicle. And from a look standpoint, I love the look. I love this style. Especially with those modded wheels. That really just brings it all together. But like I said, just very easy to drive. The 10-speed automatic pairs very, very well with the twin turbo V6. And another thing you'll notice is it's not bouncy. It doesn't sway all over the place. It's very buttoned up and very composed. On throttle, here we go. You're not waiting for the boost. You really aren't. With having the two smaller turbos, it really mitigates any kind of boost lag, which is nice. And then making a U-turn in this thing, piece of cake. Which is important because remember, you know, maneuvering it on the asphalt jungle is one thing, but if you're actually using this for its intentions and purpose, having that maneuverability is going to be crucial so that you're able to navigate through the woods or your off-road area and not bang this thing up. But just a very smooth, composed, and comfortable experience. Put on the ventilated seats. You got the cool box. Really feels fantastic in here. And even when you get into the traffic situation, because you're sitting up higher, because you got great visibility, you got all the Lexus safety features, it really allows you to feel comfortable that you're safe, that you're gonna be okay as you're navigating down your daily commute, so to speak. And then you got all that off-roading technology. Another important piece of the puzzle to have a true off-roader. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of this GX550 Overtrail Plus. We're gonna get back to Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. Guys, another great day in so many ways here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. Definitely got to thank Miro and the rest of the team getting us access to this Lexus GX550 Overtrail Plus. Let me know what you think. Is this that must-have luxury off-road spec of an SUV? Like I said, I think it'd be the one that if I was looking for an SUV, it'd be the one that I would park in my garage. Really dig it. But until I see you again with another car review, if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Reds family. Gotta get up to Stephen Flood. He's back. He's better than ever. And he's got stories to tell. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.